So let me get this straight, and I hope I'm wrong, but I'm probably not. So the Asians now are trying to add an amendment to the Asian hate bill. So Asian hate bill 2.0, that it's a hate crime if black folks don't shop at their businesses. Wow. You got to be fucking kidding me, dude. You got to be kidding me. The question is, for any Asian out there who's man or woman enough to answer, how many times do you shop at a black business? Just a thought. How many black friends do you have? How many black people do you actually really do you truly know? The question. 2.0, because we won't fucking shop at your stores. You got to be kidding me, right? How can you make somebody spend money at your store? Explain it to me. I'm wondering.
Because what you mean, the Asian community is now trying to add an amendment to the Asian hate bill to say that it's a hate crime to boycott Asian businesses. What? How the fuck are you going to make black people spend money with you? What stage of grief is this? Force? I find it funny that they're running to the white man to get the white man to force black people to do something, but you're not asking those same white men to patronize your businesses. Why is that? And the white men who are also happy to write these bills to try to force black people to do it don't even think to come to your businesses. Why is that?
Allegedly, the Asian community is trying to go ahead and enact a 2.0 to the Asian hate bill, where they're going to try to say that it is hateful against Asian communities, that we're no longer shopping with their businesses. So it just made me wonder, how are you going to force us to shop with your businesses? How? Like, what does that even look like? How does that look like? What? So is it just that the people are speaking about the boycott are going to be condemned, or what is it? How?
I'm Blasian, and I think both sides, black and Asian people, some, not everybody. I can't generalize all black people or all black or Asian people, but some of y'all are being very racist during this time, and that's not what we need from each other at all.
It seems like the Asian boycott is working. They took their happy asses down there to try to get a 2.0 to the Asian hate bill to force black people to shop at their establishments. But I thought y'all don't need us. I mean, y'all dared us to not shop with y'all, not knowing that Truth or Dare was one of our favorite games back in the day, but y'all dared us to do that. And when we took y'all up on that dare and said, oh, bet y'all want to go down to Washington, D.C. and try to get a 2.0 to the Asian hate to force people, black people, to shop in your establishments. How does that work? Like, so y'all gonna make sure, like, hold our hands and make us forcefully buy your products? Because I think even Donald Duck is gonna look at y'all like y'all goofy as fuck for even trying to present a 2.0. Like, somebody got to break this bill down to me, make it make sense, because they fucking delusional.
Again, Moors, this is an opportunity. So these sleepy Moors, they're saying not another dime. Eventually, they're going to be like, oh, why? They're going to be like, there's got to be a way that I can counteract these people using their nationality against me, because of I'm not taking it seriously, but I'm just going to pass it on. Apparently, there are Asian American business owners who are going around, allegedly, I don't know how true this is, saying we need to file yet another Asian hate bill because the black folks said we ain't going to shop with us. They're not going to shop with us anymore. So, and I bet it'll work. It sounds like you trying to get legislation passed that says black folks going to be forced to shop with y'all, because that's all they're not hating on you. They're not hating you at all. They're just saying, we're not coming to your store. Don't you have the whole rest of the country to shop with you? No, because everybody else shops with their own. That's why your business is failing. They either shop with their own or they shop with our oppressor. So when we don't show up, wow, we were the only ones shopping with you. Act like we're the only customers in the country. Turns out we were. So Moors, you need to be positioning yourselves, right? Because it's like being the guy who decided to start building garages when cars were first being manufactured. Everybody, oh, what's you crazy? That thing is hokey. It ain't gonna go nowhere. All right, I'm just saying, get ready, stay ready. Take your places.
Asian folks, do you know why black folks are cutting you off? Here's a brief history lesson. Asian folks were discriminated against just like black folks. Y'all were kinfolk for a bit. And then you were restricted to being able to open up different shops that were considered undesirable, like laundromats. Now, black folks could have opened those things up, but they knew that that was your limit. Then somewhere along the line, you became the favored minority. Because after the wars, we had plenty of half-Asian babies, and you looked close enough. And when you socially rose up by the graces of those that bestowed it upon you, you just left black folks alone. But what was the catalyst here? It was the fact that it was an Asian dude that's already apparently killed 2 other people. Got off with barely a tch on the wrist. And y'all ain't doing jack. Black folks have stood with you since the beginning of time, and they're about to show you how much they've impacted your life. It's not that you couldn't be replaced. It's that they were too polite to. And y'all just kept silent. Not doing a damn thing, even defending the dude. Really. So at this point, you get what you're going to get. Black-owned businesses are going to thrive. And you've seen so many black folks telling you, like, we could have replaced you a long time ago. Now you're about to see it. You're about to get humbled. Just like racist white people, they're about to get humbled. They're about to get humbled. Whether you believe it or not, I love all of you. And as always, stay amazing. Or be amazing. Your choice. Or it could be one of those people that's like, don't leave me. Me too.
That Stop Asian Hate bill didn't do anything. It actually made the situation worse. The Stop Asian Hate movement was going on at the same time as Black Lives Matter was being very revamped because George Floyd had been murdered. So then to have a bill that's supposed to be protecting Asians without even mentioning legislatively what was going on with black people, our black cousins, it was a slap in the face to their community. Okay, and the Stop Asian Hate bill was just increasing police and law enforcement presence in a lot of heavily Asian communities, which border a lot of heavily black communities. What is that doing for anyone? Like, the police have been a neutral at best presence for Asians, and they've also harmed Asian people. So then to have them swarming our communities, which are often right next to black communities, and we know what the police have been for black people, like, what the fuck did they think would happen? Would that even do any good, okay? Not to mention that it further divided our communities. Because some Asian people were like, oh, look at us, we're such a model minority. We're like so much better than those people over there. We got this Stop Hate Crimes bill because the government cares about us, and then we got a lot of like MAGA Asians rising out of that, thinking that the government actually give a shit about them. And then we had a lot of black people being like, wait, we've been talking about our issues forever, and then Asians get hate crime for like a couple months, and then they get a whole bill. Like, why do they not care about black lives, okay? Valid take. I'm still pissed about it. Our government should absolutely be stopping all racially motivated hate crimes, including the murders of black people by the state. As an Asian person, if our black cousins are hurting, any talk about protecting Asians is just blowing hot air. I don't believe it. And now 5 years later, look where we are. All of our communities are getting hit by ICE. Even the white queer ladies are getting unalived by ICE. This legislation actually prevented the creation of new Asian leftists. It created a lot of Asians who were mistakenly believing that the government would protect them. And those are all the thoughts I have on that.
Some Asian business groups and their supporters are pushing for strong hate crime protections, while a growing number of Black Americans are asking a simple question. They are wondering, since when did choosing where to spend your money become a hate crime? And now that's the question that we are seeing. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Let us know your thoughts down below. And if you have not subscribed to the channel, support us by subscribing right now. Let's get to see the rest of the video, and I'll be back with more commentary.
They're trying to drum up the Stop Asian Hate narrative again. All right? So let me let y'all hear a couple of clips out here that's circulating by some of the Asian influencers on social media. Let me let y'all know some of the things that they're saying. Listen to some of this stuff. And some of them are getting very disrespectful with it. Hold on one second. All right. Let's listen to this. Hold on. Where are we? All right. Here we go. Hold on.
Look, I wasn't going to talk about the Rick Chow situation, but as an Asian American, I have to talk about this. Black people are calling for other black people to boycott all Asian businesses. Are you kidding me? So the actions of one individual represents the entire race, huh?
Oh,
we should punish the entire fucking race because of one person.
Oh, y'all do that to us? If somebody do something to you, you follow us around and you pew-pewing innocent black kids who didn't do anything?
I'm just going to call it what it is. This is straight up racism. Asians are a minority in this country, even more so than black people. Once one Asian person steps out of line, the entire race gets hated on. Remember COVID? Remember? China virus?
That was white people doing that. The white teen supremacists was doing that, all that China. That was Trump and the... No. See, they try to put all that on us. They don't say nothing about the white teen supremacists. Hold on.
Kung flu virus, the whole 150% increase in Asian hate crimes, and the whole Stop Asian Hate movement, which conveniently was stopped because of who they found out were the perpetrators. Chinese is different than Japanese, is different from Korean, is different from Vietnamese. There are over 2 billion people in Asia. They're all fucking different. We are not a monolith. As Asians in America...
Oh, hold on. Let me pause that for one second. I don't want to hear that you're not a monolith nonsense. You became a monolith to protect Peter Liang. Remember, don't let them run that game. We ain't a monolith. When Peter Liang unalived Akai Gurley, all these Asian organizations from Korean, Vietnamese, Chinese, Japanese, all of them got together to protect Peter Liang. Don't ever forget that. Don't let them run that shit. All of them got together to protect Peter Liang. All of them. All right? Don't let them try to, well, we ain't them and we ain't, no. All of you got together as an Asian bloc to protect one of your fellow Asians against him harming a black person. All right? Y'all don't do that. No. Don't play that game. All right, let me play the rest of this. All right? Let me play the rest. Hold on.
We are only tolerated. They like our culture. They like our food. They like our music.
Okay, I didn't see all. Who? What? We like what? What? Your culture? What culture we like? What culture? We go to the food spots because y'all be cooking our shit. Yeah, what culture? We don't patronize you like that. Hold on now. What culture? Hold on. I didn't catch that part. What culture? Hold on, let me take that back. What culture? What culture do we like? Hold on.
Fucking different. We are not a monolith. As Asians in America, we are only tolerated. They like our culture, they like our food, they like our music.
What? What music? What music? K-pop? What music is he talking about? What music is he? Y'all over there doing 90s R&B, some shit we created. Yo, that's your biggest music.
Now that anti-blackness in the Asian American communities have become a topic of discussion once again online, let's talk about some of the stuff that I've seen on online spaces in this past year, specifically after the H Mart discourse from last year. So after H Mart Gate, specifically after Black TikTok had started to listen in on the tea, there was a rise of Asian American content creators who saw that as an opportunity to essentially build their brand pandering to Black people. Now, just as a disclaimer, calling out anti-Blackness in Asian and Asian American communities, I'm all here for. I've also made that very clear in my own content that is something that needs to be addressed, not just in our communities, but just as a whole. These specific creators, specifically an alleged doctor and some other content creators that are up her ass all day, thought it would be a good idea to start using it as a grift online. Now, I say that your supposed advocacy for Black people has always been a grift because it's also always at the expense of our own communities too. They're constantly degrading other Asian people in their content to call out racism, but so many of their takes have been consistently ignorant in terms of understanding their own internalized xenophobia and racism. I forgot to mention this, but I also saw another creator just yesterday, and she was saying some shit like, us Asian Americans, we need to be on timeout. Like, we need to be on an internment camp level timeout. And the thing that really blows me is like, you can just advocate for Black people. And you can advocate for Black people not at our own community's expense. Like, why do you feel the need to put down your own community to prove your solidarity? Like, that's really fucking weird. Now, a lot of these creators will have takes where they're using Black people in a really disingenuous way to make a certain point. And when non-Black people have tried to call out these creators for doing that, those creators will just accuse them of being anti-Black and tokenize their audience in the process. Multiple Black creators have also called you out at this point. especially for your take about black girls not being on Epstein Island because black women aren't seen as desirable, which first, just factually, is not true that they weren't on the island. And second, disgusting to imply that desirability politics has anything to do with the atrocities that Epstein was perpetuating. And what did you do then? Delete your video and private your account? You've just gone on and completely ignored the black creators that have been telling you that your takes are harmful and ignorant. But you obviously don't listen or respond to them because that's not going to give you the views or the validation that you want, right? These types of creators give their takes about racism and anti-blackness not because they really believe them or understand the cultural nuances of them, but because you think it makes you look morally superior and the audience that you pander to in your content makes you money. That's literally just another version of the model minority. And these types of creators know what they're doing, right? They're very much aware. It's just that I think a lot of their viewers haven't caught on yet, but they're not actually advocating for black people. They're not advocating for anything. You weaponize and tokenize them for your own gain. You're a grifter. Some might say this is a stretch, but I honestly don't think it is. But you're actually kind of doing the same thing that racist Asian American business owners do in black communities, but just online. And what's so funny is that you coined the term pick Miko and you just ended up becoming one.
Y'all. So yeah, word on the street is that the large Asian beauty supply chains, they gonna start blocking a lot of us indigenous individuals from owning our own business, you know, by not selling us the supplies that we need. But that's cool. So yeah, they could go in here and try to block us all they want to. Y'all can hide that shit. Keep that shit. Y'all can go to y'all warehouses every day and look at that shit like, oh yeah, these niggers won't get this. I mean, I don't know how Asians sound like, but I ain't trying to mock y'all like that. But I'm just saying though, y'all can hide that shit. You know, y'all keep that shit. Eventually, you gonna come holler at us, and that's on y'all. But I think the best move to be is to try to coexist. At least to try to say, you know what, hey, yeah, you know what, we do make a lot of money off the indigenous community. We got to find a way to give back. Give back. Y'all don't even give back, man. Y'all are coming open up these stores and all this shit and won't even give back to the community y'all in. The community come there and spend hundreds of thousands with y'all. And y'all won't do nothing for the community. Not a T-ball team. You won't open up a little gas station basketball team. You want to open up a little beauty supply store, basketball team. Just find ways to get back to the community. You know what I'm saying? You're making all type of money off the community. Why not try to give back to the community? You know, like they got this one spot here where I'm at, man. It's on the south side, man. It's the only place that be selling like urban clothes and shit, man. The Asian dude been here for the longest. Man, now and he right in the hood. His shit like smack on the south, right in the hood, bro. Not one time have you ever heard this man doing anything for the black community. And the blacks will go to his store and spend all type of motherfucking money in there on fake shit that the employees be wearing and putting back on the rack. Man, all type of goofy ass shit. And the crazy part about it is, you know, motherfuckers be talking about like, dude really be looking out for blacks because he got black employees. No, nigga, he ain't looking out for no blacks because he got black employees. He got black employees in that motherfucker for the overlay, for the underlay, or however you used to say that shit. You know what I'm saying? He trying to fool, man, listen, motherfucker ain't fooling me, but that be the problem, man. Y'all be having all these stores, liquor stores, and all this shit in these communities and don't do nothing to try to help and give back to the community. Don't put nothing out there for the kids. You ain't even got to do shit for the grown-ups. Y'all ain't even doing shit for the kids. Y'all ain't even sponsoring no little league teams, doing none of that. All y'all doing is just sitting and just milking the hood. That's all the fuck y'all doing, man. I'm just keeping it hot. So it's time for us to just switch our wealth, bro. We have to put it into us and invest in us so we could be well off, man. You know what I'm saying? Everybody else is. It's not a racist thing. It's a wake up thing. It's time to wake up. You know what I'm saying? So, cause it's like this, man. You know, I'm a strong believer, man. If we start producing well for our people, man, you know what I'm saying, we'll start living well. You know, it's a lot of pain and suffering going on out here, but it's enough when you got people coming into a poverty-stricken area already and then juicing, you know what I'm saying, that demographic area over there for the little money that it has already. That's, man, give back, man. Give back. That's all you got to do. What's hard with that?
Since my last video, there has been a lot of pressure to follow up. I've been receiving messages upon messages. Some are positive, many are threats. What should I do? What should I say? You shouldn't do. And in that, I had to take a step back and think about what I need to do going forward. And I realized there is a large responsibility on what I would say, and I need to order my steps and my words correctly. And I prayed for guidance, and here I am now. With that, I've had a lot of conversation with people on the opposing sides, and one of them in which was the woman Monica, and I don't think that conversation is going to happen anymore, and here's why.
One of them, boycott every single one of them. Boycott the hair, walk around with your bald ass head, don't eat the Chinese food, don't do any of that, okay? Because let me tell you, there is not enough black-owned business for y'all trying to cancel every...
People who think like that, their mindset is set in stone and there's no changing it. There's no reasoning. There's not even given the facts because they're going to just shoot them down just to be right. And the funny part about it is that woman tries to say she's from the hood. She grew up in the hood. And that's the thing that we be talking about so much. Proximity to blackness does not give you the right to speak on black issues. Because the reason why is not that you're speaking from a place of love and care. You're speaking from a place of bias and hate. But see, it's funny how when black people say that we're just going to start focusing on us and trying to build up our communities, that translates into Asian hate. But see, it looks like you did that on your own.
Hey, look at this. Look. Hey.
Fuck you. Looks like you wrote a check that your ass can't cash. And then if you do try to cash it, it's gonna bounce. And that comes from speaking on things that you don't know or understand, but I'm gonna learn you today. See, the very nails that you guys claim to own. This is something that a lot of people don't understand that you all brought to the country and made a cheaper service. See, nails always and always have been luxury service for women. Even dating back to Egyptian times where they were seen as a wealth status and spiritual status. And the higher up you are spiritually, the longer, more elegant your nails are. See, what a lot of people in the Asian community won't tell you is back when Vietnam was at war, they came over here in mass amounts in droves. And there was no place for them to work because, you know, America, the racist place that was racist for everybody, didn't let them work. Can you imagine that? So what did the immigrants do? They came together and found out that they could do nails, and they put their skills together and they trained families upon families on ways to cater to the community and sell their nails. And in that, they created the fast shops, $25 nails. Because before Vietnamese immigrants came to the US, nails were considered a high-end luxury service, somewhere around $80. But they found a way to cut the middleman out and make it cheaper so they can service to the Americans at a faster, quicker rate. But you want to know something else? They still weren't making money because the women who were coming in getting the simple nail sets were only covering the basics. It was the Latinas and the black women who were getting the long, elegant nails that foot the bill. So in 1964, when the Civil Rights Act passed and more black women and colored women entered into the workforce, more of these quick pop-up shops popped up to cater to them to get their business. They also won't tell you that most of the loans that they receive to open businesses are specifically made to be opened in black neighborhoods. They also won't tell you that they really don't like you and they're trained on social skills and basic conversation skills. You know, the typical, hey, you have a boyfriend? Yeah, they're taught that. That's all a part of their psyche class that they get before they go and get the training to do nails. That even further solidifies the point that y'all really don't even fuck with us. It just came out because of the situation. But that's all good because we're done talking to other races about what they need to do for us. And we need to start talking to each other about what we need to do for each other. And in that, we have black businesses, the ones that they don't think about. We have black businesses, the ones that they laugh about. We have black businesses, the ones that they counted out. We just need to count each other in. It's this constant conversation all the time about black customers, black businesses. Black businesses are too expensive, black customers are rude. We need to fix that. We need to fix it just with the people. The reason they're scared of a boycott is because they know the power of the black dollar. And I'm in no way inciting a boycott or a riot. What I am urging everybody to do is to drive the extra mile just for a sister. Drive the extra mile just for a brother if you know that their business is over there. And in that, I hope to usher in what I call the Black Reset. Listen, what else can we call it? Black Lives Matter was hijacked by All Lives Matter, right? They turned it into something it never was supposed to be. That was supposed to be something for us to show that, listen, we matter too. But see, here's the thing. Anytime we do something for self, it's always translated into hate for everybody else. Maybe if we just die this down a little bit, the Black Reset, it'll make more sense. See, we're just resetting how we deal with one another. We're resetting how we do business with one another. We're resetting how we communicate with one another. There's times where I see somebody, it's another sister or brother, they might have an attitude. I have to remember, this is my sister. I'm going to reset. Hey, I'm going to reset real quick. Let's start over. We owe that to one another. When you go into a business, if you see a customer coming to your business, acknowledge them. Hey, how you doing? Thank you for coming to my business. How can I help you? And customers, say hello, speak when you walk in. We have to change the energy in which we give each other. And once we raise our frequency, can't nobody touch us. My site is live. I want you to go grab a shirt, start the movement, the Black Reset. On my site, there are these window stickers as well. The Black Reset, Reset, Realign, Rise. Because if you put this on your business, you put this on your window, this lets anybody know that this is about change. This is a reset. You come in here, you're going to get a smile from me. You're going to get top of the line business. And as a customer, you have this on, you're letting people know that you're coming about your business. You're coming to support a Black business with respect. And if you're not a Black business and you don't want to get boycotted, put this on your window too. I'm playing, but I'm not. But if you want to really show you an ally, put this on your storefront. If it's really not, if you don't want the boycott, if you understand what we're saying, you could be a part of the Black Reset too. Hashtag the Black Reset. This is going to start a new era for everybody. This is not a hate train. This is not a boycott train like everybody's trying to make it out to be. This is simply a call to action for Black people to realize that we can do better. We just need to do it now. That's all it is. We have the businesses, but we need to build on top of what we already have and make it stronger. The foundation is already there. On this website, there will also be an option for you to have business training opportunities to better your customer service. This is not saying you're doing anything wrong. This is just looking at what's going right and how we can expand and do better, because there's always room for better. And accountability is going to be what gets us through this. I'm not trying to come at anybody's business, but there are some opportunities for changes. We need to do better. Our attitudes have been piss poor with one another. If we want change, if we want everybody else to treat us better, we need to do better. The Black Reset. I have a homeboy who's about this too, and he also has a website that he is building that is going to market every Black business imaginable to toothpaste, toothbrushes, news outlets, clothing stores. It's going to be on there. Any news dealing with Black people is going to be on this website, blackwallstreetmap.com. That's where you're going to go to find the latest and the greatest news on Black people, Black things, and Black businesses. See, what they expected was a boycott. What they expected was a riot. What they expected is for us to be mad, having fake outrage for 2 weeks, and then go back to spending our money. I know I ain't been in Target in a minute, have you? The sad part about it is Black people telling each other that we need to do better and we need to spend our money within our own communities should not translate to hate to other communities.
We've seen that the black boycott of some Asian-owned businesses is not just about forcing anyone to close their doors. We've seen that nobody is stopping people from shopping whenever they want. These people are not telling Asians to close their shops. They're just saying that we members of Black community, we are not going to be shopping from the Asian business. So that does not support, that does not mean that they're stopping each and everybody from working in that community, in that Asian-owned businesses. What they are just saying is that we members of Black community, we are not going to support you. So that does not mean that they've closed doors to the whites. That does not mean they are closing the doors to other Asians and also other communities. We've seen that they are just saying that the members of Black families, just forget seeing them in your shops. So we are seeing that now these people, the Asians, now are turning to the white person who does not even shop from their own shop, who does not even promote them, to start passing bills, which now point out to this kind of hate crime. Now we've seen that nobody is now trying to stop people from coming to that shop, but they want this idea behind boycott to be portrayed as a hate crime. So if a community now feels like it has been disrespected or treated unfairly for a lot of years, then that community has the right to take its money elsewhere. We think that if the justice system has failed them, if the policing and also the judicial system is also failing Black Americans, the only leverage which they have is now the black dollar. That happens to be now the rent of last resort. That happens to be the only weapon that they have to work against the system. And now, when it comes to spending money, it becomes a personal choice. But we're seeing that the holdings are also trying to test the ground on the matters concerning the global agenda, where we are going to see where people now will be forced on how to spend their money, where they are going to be spending it, and on what items they're going to spend it. It might be one of the rules being made so that they can now start having to regulate and control people on how they are going to spend their money. And we'll come to realize that it is agenda which is way more even beyond these racial boycotts. We are seeing that it is even adding up to the global agenda of the Vision 2030. And we see that every customer is right because they can get to choose where they are going to spend their money. But if this kind of rules are made and they are passed and now they come into effect, then you'll come to realize that the global agenda is now rolling, but in small bits, just trying out the script so that they can see how well it will get to behave when they get to have it passed in the global order. Now we're seeing that critics of this boycott, now they are arguing that it is unfairly for these targeted businesses because the owners feel that their ethnicity is being discriminated. But for some supporters, they have this kind of expanded hate crime laws which are being organized in the campaign based on the race to get to encourage hostility and also to get to have Black Americans brought back in line. They are seeing that they have tried to make blacks comply, but it is getting out of order, and they think that it is only it's only whites who can get Black Americans to be submissive. It is by getting them, by making the rules, because they know that they hold those places of influence and those places of power, and where the black representation is actually so minimal, because we saw that Thomas Clarence was making some sort of rules which will make it even harder for black representation at those places of influence. So when it comes to matters like these, then you'll find that blacks will be at a disadvantage over the system, because the system will be having a minority representation from the whites. And we're seeing that the whole thing is causing a lot of questions online, because they see that spending your money, your own paycheck, where you choose is a basic freedom, and yet they are trying to pass the hate crime. So how is that freedom? Because you cannot be free if you've been given some rules on what to do with your own money. So this is why we've seen that some people now have started calling for the kind of latest push for the hate crime 2.0. They believe that the goal is no longer to just punish violent attacks and threats. They worry about the kind of peaceful economic pressure, which could also be labeled as hateful. So whether this kind of concern is justified as part of public debate, it gets to explain why emotions are running very high in these kind of societies, and the whole thing gets to make people question a lot of things revolving around freedom. Because how is it that people are going to be denied basic freedom of spending their money where they want? So the whole thing is having supporters of the boycott also pointing a bigger issue, because they are arguing that many black neighborhoods have supported businesses for decades. They're trying to say that they have been consumers for the longest, so spending millions of dollars every year, and yet very little of their own money is coming back into their community. So we are seeing that they are trying to say that black people want to be at the market front too. They want to be at the marketplace, supplying the services and also items, and also trying to make their generation's wealth. But they are wondering, how is that even going to be allowed? Yet we have known that blacks are just supposed to be consumers, because for the longest time they've been consuming without being able to offer these services. So they ask, well, why there are this kind of few investments, partnership, and also scholarship, or this kind of local programs which have been funded by businesses that depend on black communities. But the whole thing is having a lot of frustration, and because of that, many people are no longer saying that let's now protest on a weekend. Instead, what they are doing, they're just saying that let's permanently support businesses that invest back to our own community. They're not now doing the matches. They're just talking and communicating and having solidarity and unity. And if you get to understand this, blacks are just trying to show these people that if the minorities get to unite, there is going to be an impact. And that's what they're trying to oppose here, because if all the minorities came together and knew the concept of unity, then they will be able to question and silence the system. But the system does not want that to come into action. So that's why we are seeing that they're supporting the Asians so that the minorities will never unite. Because one thing the system knows is that if these minorities get to unite on the basis of same language, then they will make the system topple. So for the system to avoid that, they just let people fight amongst themselves. So they get to have people having different agendas, because for blacks, they'll be fighting for equal rights and representation. But for Asians, they'll be fighting to be whites. So what they do is that they give some race slightly above privileges over the other, so that they will never have a common goal. They will never have a common problem to match for. They will never have a common interest. So each and every race has their own interests. And now that makes it even harder for these people to unite and fight the system back. So the system knows what it's doing. And they have done this even before, even during the slavery time, where we saw that some European poor slaves were given a little bit of chance to be able to own property, to be able to create wealth, to be able to even oversee other black slaves. And we saw that black slaves were not even being given the chance to own anything. They were just being there for cheap and free labor. So with those kind of disparities in representation and also privilege, it made it even harder for the slaves to overthrow the colonies. It is something which has been here before, and black Americans see it, and they're trying to show unity, that unity works. But these people are getting to see it as a threat. Well, let us know what you think about the same in comments down below. And if you have not subscribed to our channel yet, support us by subscribing right now.